Imagine morning roll call at the most secure facility on Earth. No alarms, no breached doors, just empty beds and lifeless faces resting perfectly still. Every detail of this scenario is a fully documented historical fact, sharing more with a suspense thriller than a standard police report. The men responsible were Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence. This quiet disappearance deeply unnerved the authorities. By slipping away without a sound, these inmates shattered the illusion of absolute government control over its most dangerous citizens. To understand that failure, look at the geometry of Alcatraz. Placed in the center of San Francisco Bay, the rock relied on total geographic isolation. Aggressive, unpredictable rip currents provided a natural perimeter, serving as the island's first and most effective defense. Even if someone survived the tide, the freezing water temperatures would rapidly induce hypothermia. Inside, the operational security was just as hostile. Guards maintained constant human surveillance over high-value targets, including figures like Al Capone. Alcatraz operated as a multi-layered engineering system, specifically designed to reduce the probability of a successful escape to absolute zero. The first hurdle was the physical architecture of the cells. The inmates had to find a way to breach the thick concrete without access to power tools or explosives. Their solution required months of microscopic labor. Using stolen spoons and restricted everyday items, they slowly chipped away at their ventilation grates, working in silence to avoid triggering noise complaints from the guards. However, an open vent is useless if the nightly guard patrols see an empty bed during their visual checks. To bypass the patrols, they constructed decoy heads using a mixture of soap, toilet paper, and actual hair collected from the prison barbershop. Successfully tricking the visual patrols allowed the inmates to manufacture the single most valuable resource in a maximum security environment: unmonitored time. On the night of June 11, 1962, the plan went live. The men navigated through the expanded vents, climbed a maintenance corridor, and reached the prison roof undetected. Once outside, they faced the final uncontrolled variable: the dark, freezing waters of the bay. To survive the crossing, they relied on one last improvised hack: a functional raft and life vests built entirely by vulcanizing stolen prison raincoats together. By pushing that patchwork raft into the bay, the inmates intentionally traded the certainty of a cage for the deadly unpredictability of nature. The next morning, the facility collapsed into chaos. Guards realized the faces on the pillows were decoys, and the cells were empty. A massive multi-agency manhunt launched immediately, filling the sky with helicopters to track any sign of the escapees. Below, the Coast Guard deployed a tight search grid to find any debris or bodies in the water. Despite the scale of the operation, the government found no conclusive evidence of either survival or death. The full weight of the FBI and Coast Guard failed to provide a definitive answer. In the years following the escape, letters surfaced from writers claiming to be the men, suggesting they successfully reached the mainland and went into hiding. These accounts conflict with the harsh environmental data, which suggests that drowning in the bay's currents remains the most statistically probable outcome. Regardless of the ending, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers accomplished more than a physical breakout. They turned a fortress into history's most enduring open question. When you weigh the engineering precision of the escape against the brutal geography of the bay, what do you see? Did they survive or did they drown? Share your theory in the comments.